Okay, welcome back, family. You already know what it is. Live life out loud with purpose. Remember, if you hear anything that resonates with you, any truth that you can make applicable, please like and share the video. Please, family, it doesn't cost you anything to give me a thumbs up. All you have to do is hit the thumbs up button. It lets YouTube know that somebody's enjoying my content, and therefore they will generate it and the algorithms will keep my content flowing. So, and remember, like and share the video. So, I'm gonna get right into it, family. I promised you guys about some more confessions of mine. I'm gonna start to, divulge a little more truths to you. So, I hope that this is one of those videos you've been waiting for. So, I'm going to talk about my drug addiction, how I became addicted to drugs. Now, one of the things that I learned far and a long time ago is that I have an addictive spirit. I come from a long line of addicted people. And because I have an addictive spirit, I'll probably always be addicted. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be addicted to drugs. I just have to shift the paradigm so that I'll always be addicted. So now I just become addicted to something else. I have OCD. So, and it'll come off in other places. And one of the reasons one of the things that happened to me once I became clean was I became a total control freak. I had to control everything around me. And I think the reason why I had to control everything was because prior to this, my life was so chaotic. You know what I mean? Everything was just chaotic, man. Just the chaos theory where, you can take a drip of water, put it on a board, let it run down stream, and you never know where it's going to land. You can't predict where this is going to go. It's called the chaos theory. I think I can't remember the name of the game they had for it in The Price is Right, maybe Planko or something. I don't know. You just drop the thing, and then this thing would go all around the thing, and you would hope that it land on the number it was supposed to be. But anyways, chaos theory. How I became addicted. I've always had a hustler's mentality. I've had a job since I was 13 years old. I can't remember too many times I didn't have a job. So if any of you know me, when times got rough, I invented a job. Man, and I'm gonna break down some real honest things with you guys today. So I'm not going to jump around. Let's begin with how I became addicted to crack cocaine. Now, I've always had a hustler's mentality. So I was always about getting money and getting mine. And I had a job. And I remember I was making minimum wage, and at the time, minimum wage was $5 an hour. And I worked 40 hours a week. I made $200. And I want to say maybe I brought home 188, something like that after taxes. I want to say, I remember I claimed extra dependents, so they didn't take so much money out of my taxes. Losing in the other end. But anyway, so I'm working, and every week I used to get paid. I was a creature of habit. So like I told you, I do things habitually because I have an addictive spirit. $188 I used to make every week. I used to buy me a quarter ounce of weed, and um, I would go out and go eat every Tuesday. That's why I was getting it confused, because every Tuesday I'd go out and eat. And I'd always go to this one restaurant and get me something to eat. The town restaurant. They used to have liver and onions on Tuesdays. That's how I can remember. But anyways, man, I would always catch the buzz, smoke my weed, do my thing during the week. And I was good to get to where I had to go. But on this day, on payday, I remember I always had to take a cab wherever I was going that day, because I'd be paranoid from smoking the weed all day. And then I had to go, I'd go to the restaurant that night because I'd have the munchies. So by the end of the night, end of the day, I had bus fare, a few little change for the week. Hopefully I bought me a nice outfit. So at the end of the week, when I'm all said and done and I'm broke, I got something to show for it, because that was my mentality. But then I had my cousin. I go over to my cousin's house one day, and I got some weed, and they laced the blunt with crack cocaine. With cocaine, it wasn't crack at the time. With cooked up cocaine, they laced the blunt. Now, unbeknownst to me, because I didn't know it at the time, and I must have hit this blunt a couple times, and I just got paid. I had my quarter ounce of weed, we laced one blunt, and I had a 40 ounce of beer and a pack of Newports. I'll never forget it. I hit that blunt a couple of times, man. The room got to spinning. I was high out of my mind. What? Took off like a rocket. But again, I didn't know the blunt was laced. And I'm telling y'all the God's honest truth. And at least that's the way I remember it, and that's the way I'm going to tell the story today. But I remember, because I know my cousin was mad at her boyfriend at the time. She mad at him. Like, man, why'd you do that to my cousin? You shouldn't have did that. I remember her cussing him out. Telling you didn't tell him, you should have told him, da 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 da. And I was high. My cousin told me, go upstairs and just lay down. Go upstairs and just lay down, sleep it off. Because I kept telling her, man, I'm so high. Why am I so high? I didn't understand why I was so high. So she told me to go upstairs, lay down, sleep it off. Never forget it, man. I went upstairs, man. I laid down. Woke up the next morning. I had all my money. I had all my weed. And I still had the 40 ounce of beer that I didn't even crack, and I never even opened up my cigarettes. And I'm saying to myself, I was high, and when I come downstairs, I'm talking to my cousin. I'm like, yeah, I was messed up. And she was like, Peanut, I'm sorry. Such and such laced the blunt, and he put cocaine in it, and I went off on him, and da 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 da. And I was like, yeah, I remember you cussing him out, and this, that, and the other. But I'm like, cocaine? Put cocaine in the blunt. Thinking, oh, I done did cocaine. But, boom, a light go off in my head. See, I'm going to tell y'all, something different happened to me than happened to everybody else, probably. Now, I done sold cocaine before, but I never done it up until this moment. Up until this moment, I had never smoked a laced blunt, never thought about it or anything. But I'm thinking to myself, I could save money if I smoke cocaine. Now, you got to think about my mentality. You got to figure out, you got to understand where I'm coming from with this. And so the way I seen it is, I got paid. I bought my weed, I bought my beer, I bought my cigarettes and all that. And normally, by the end of the night, after my payday, I was lucky to have bus fare, like I said, throughout the week. And hopefully, like I said, I did the right thing and bought me an article of clothing, because that's what I used to try to do every week, was buy something so that I had something to show for my paycheck every week. You know, it was important to me. Every week I had to buy something, a pair of shoes, a shirt, a hat, a something. I had to have something every week. So, in my mind, I could save money. The cocaine my cousin told me was a $20 bag of cocaine. And I'm figuring, instead of buying quarter ounce of weed, I can buy a nickel bag of weed, because hell, we don't barely smoke the joint out of this quarter ounce of weed, you know. And I ain't even want no cigarettes. I ain't want no beer. I ain't even want the munchies, nothing to eat. All I really wanted was everybody to leave me the hell alone so the room can spin, is all I really wanted. So I'm thinking to myself, if I do this, I could save money every week. And guess what, y'all? It happened just like that. So every week I used to get paid. I would go over my cousin's house. And if you watching, baby, I'm sorry. I'm not throwing you out there under the bus, because I ain't saying your name, baby. But you and I know we having this conversation together. But you know, I remember every week I would go over her house. I'll send her boyfriend, me and him go get the coke, come back, they cook it up, and we smoke up a couple of blunts. And then I would go home with all I was out of was like $25. And the next day, you know, and I had remember, cuz I just got, this is one of my first apartments. So me and my little girlfriend live, you know, kind of around the corner from my cousin, you know, not too far. So we right in the hood, so I could walk home, man. It was good. But then I'm gonna tell y'all what happened is, nigga got greedy. So every week I go up over there and I'd smoke the blunt, and I'd always say I want to go home and smoke the blunt. But I would smoke it before I would go home. So every week I'd never do it. And that was the only day I did it. It was one day out the week. I buy a $20 bag of cocaine and a $5 bag of weed, and I was good. $25, that's what I spent on getting high. And the next day I'd have my little weed. I'd go home and smoke a couple blunts. A couple joints. So I was good to go. Until I got greedy. One day I wanted to smoke my own blunt. I wanted to roll my own lace blunt. So what I do is, instead of buying a 20 this week, I buy 2 20s. One that I can do with my cousin, and we can roll, smoke us some blunts. And then I could take one home. Sent me home with one. I'll never forget it, man. The rest is crack history. Now, I can tell y'all all these amazing crack stories, because, man, I got a million of them. Oh, my God. Can we talk? I have some crack talk. But that ain't what we're really here for. What we're really here for is change. And I'm not telling you any of these things to glorify what happened to me. I'm saying these things to maybe it might help somebody else, and somebody else may be able to make change, all right? Because change comes only if we're willing to put in the work, the effort. And this is me putting in work, putting in effort to make change, radical change for my grandkids, for my kids, and for my great grandkids. You know, I may not be able to leave monetary value, but I will be able to leave standards, and this is one of them. And I don't ever want what happened to me to happen to anybody else, because the foolery of what the drug told me, and it lied to me, and I thought, like I said, it was gonna save me money in the beginning. But let me tell you, I smoked families away. I've smoked careers away. I've smoked businesses away. And ain't no telling what other future assets I might have, that I could have obtained had I not been under the influence. You know, and some of the places that I probably could have been had I not been under the influence. You know, and it took me a long time to get to a place of recovery. You know, and I'm still recovering today. You know, by the way, if anybody is interested, please hit me up in the link below. I am doing Forex now. I have an amazing team. Man, we're making money. I don't mind sharing this idea with other people. So please hit me up in the link below. But again, I do just want to make change. I want to make change. Okay. So, you know, I told you about some of the thing, one of the things that caught me into doing the drug. People would put me in a box, and no matter how much I tried to come out of the box, I could never escape it. It's like my past would always super succeed me. Before I would enter a room, what I did before would always enter the room first. So what I mean by that is this. When anybody knew I was coming, it was like, uh-oh, here come Peanut, put your purse up, because you remember last time he did such and such. Uh-oh, here come Peanut, you better put your cell phone up, because remember last time he was here, he did X, Y, Z. Uh-oh, here come Peanut, you know you're going to be asking for some money, da-da-da-da-da, you better put your money away, tell him you ain't got anything. You see what I'm saying? My past would be there before I would even be there. When what you really want is your future to show up before you do, where people are expecting you, where, oh man, I can't wait till Peanut gets here. I heard he's coming, man. Peanut's on his way, and when he gets here, X, Y, Z. So if you didn't realize by now, my name is Trent, but my nickname is Peanut, and that's what they used to call me when I was a young kid. And when I was out there doing that crazy junk, if any of y'all know me, y'all remember, yeah, they called me nut. So anyways, I promised another story. So let me tell y'all, things got rough and tough out there in the streets of Buffalo for me. And, but man, I was a go-getter. And when I say a go-getter, man, see, I've always been able to have whatever it is I wanted to. And even when I was in my drug thing, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna tell you something, man. An addict can come up with some inventive ways. So I invented a career. Let me tell y'all, I used to go around the city of Buffalo. I used to walk around the city of Buffalo, man, from one end to the other. And if I scammed you, I apologize, people. But I would go from business to business, and I would raise money for felonious organizations, you know, and I would go from business to business and ask for money. And people would give it to me. I kept receipts, man, and everything. Yeah, brother I wasn't nothing nice. I had this book bag I used to carry around with me. And people used to call me Face. And one of the reasons they used to call me Face, because you didn't know which face you was going to get. Because in this book bag, man, I kept a joint. I kept my gun. I had a notebook and a pad where I would go around, like I told you, and pretty much scam people. I also used to sell business cards. I had a legitimate business too. I used to sell business cards to people. I would do business cards, obituaries, and menus. So in the city of Buffalo, you got a lot of bodega, Arab stores. So they would always sell food, stuff like that. I would make menus for them, flyers, and obituaries was big, churches and stuff like that. I would go to sell my services to the funeral home. So listen, I didn't do any printing. I didn't own any printing company, but I knew a printer, and well, it was a printer. I didn't know him. There was a printer, a printing company way back in the day, and they would give me 1,000 copies of anything basic black and white for $20. So I could do business cards, obituaries, or menus, black and white, 1,000 for $20. So I would go out and when I would be out scamming people, I would take people's business cards, and in their business, I would take their business cards and I would put them in a photo album that looked like a portfolio. And when I would go to different businesses and I would tell them that I designed and made these business cards. So, and I would sell them printing needs, and they would, commission me to do their printing, and then I would go give it to Johnson Printing Company, and they would, give me the work, and I was a middleman. So I had, man, when I say hustler, bro, you don't know what a hustler really is. See, a lot of people think a hustler is somebody who stand on the corner and sell drugs. That is not a hustler, man. That is somebody who preys upon people, man. That's a vulture. Vultures hang out on the corners. Vultures hang out in trap houses. Those are vultures. They're not hustlers. The vultures wait for the hustlers to hustle. Because, see, let me tell you something about most drug dealers. Let me tell you about a drug dealer. I don't want to jump these stories too much because we got to tie all this stuff in together. But I got to tell you this thing about the drug dealer. See, most drug dealers, if they get broke, man, the only way they can come up with another drug dealer, give them a front. Did you get that? If a drug dealer get broke, absolutely nothing. He ain't got nothing. How he coming up unless somebody give him more drugs? Can he hustle to get it back? How he gonna hustle to get it back? Somebody got to give him something, or he got to take it. Now let me tell you about a hustler. So I'm gonna tell you about a hustler. A hustler can get broke. A hustler can buy an 8-ball at 10 o'clock in the morning, and by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he dead ass broke, with no expectations in sight of where he's gonna get his next fix. But the hustler can walk out that motherfucking door and come back by 8 motherfucking o'clock and be ready for another 8-ball. Yeah, that's the hustler. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's a hustler. Now, is he stupid for doing it? Yeah. But so, anyways, man, they used to call me the come up kid. Cause yeah, man, I could get broke and I'd come up. And y'all, and any of y'all that know me knows that. So anyways, man, yeah. Not only did I go around scamming people, and I think I used to raise money for a couple of different things. I would tell people I worked at local community centers, and I would tell them that we're taking so many kids on a trip, and we were raising money for the bus and for transportation, man, and people would give me money. And I sold commercials for a radio station that I never even worked for, man. I had contracts, I had demos where I would say, this event is such, and proudly sponsored by XYZ. Yeah, man, I was good about it, man. I just had people signing contracts. Man, I remember this one lady bought a commercial from me. I forgot I sold her a commercial, went back to the business the next year and forgot all about it. I was there doing some other business, and this lady like, oh, can you sell me another commercial? And I'm like, oh man, what's going on? But man, I almost got caught up a few times. But anyway, yeah, man. So yeah, hustler. I'm talking about a real hustler, man. Somebody who can go out and get it whenever they had to. You know what I'm saying? But I think the drug made me a better hustler or made me a hungrier hustler. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, things got bad. Things got real bad. And you know, I've been clean a lot longer than I was actually in the drug game. So I've been clean a lot longer now. So, you know, I could reminisce about some of those stories, y'all. And we probably will from time to time. I'll go back and forth. You know, the whole point of this is that we come to an understanding and we come to a place that, you know, what happens to some people, how they get caught up into the drug scene, what happens to people while they're in the drug scene, you know, while they're in it, and how the transition is to come out of it. You know, one of the biggest things I had to do was move away. I had to leave the city of Buffalo. I had to leave. Because the one thing I learned is your association determines your destination. And what I mean by that is the people that you are associated with are the people that you are destined to be like. So if you hang out with 3 crackheads, you're bound to be the 3rd, 4th. And if you hang out with a loser, either you're gonna become a loser or you're gonna teach him not to become a loser. And the 50-50 chance, I don't want to take anymore. You know what I mean? So what I've learned to do is attach myself to people that I either want to be like or are heading in the same direction that I'm heading in. You know, because I don't want to be mind melded with anybody that isn't heading in the same direction that I'm heading in. And what I mean by that is you don't want to be tied in mentally with somebody, you know, or emotionally with somebody that is heading in a different direction than you are. You know, and that's very, very important. You can't do that. You know, we have to understand and not be afraid to know our worth and expect people to be okay with that. And, you know, I'm gonna end this with one last thing. And someone told me something that made a lot of sense to me well, it didn't make sense to me at the time. But it wound up making sense to me later. I remember one day I was standing on the corner waiting on the bus, skipping school. And I must have was smoking my weed, and there was a laundromat on the corner of Sweet and Sycamore, and yeah, that was a long time ago. So and I'm waiting on the 6, and there's a old man. He's sitting there, and he's in a trench coat. And I can still see the trench coat right now, man. And he reeked the urine, and it's hot. It was hot out that day, and this man got like an overcoat on, and you could smell like the pee. And I don't think it was just him, but because I think like people used to pee like right there in that doorway of of the laundromat, but I remember a strong odor of piss. And the guy says, "Hey, young man, can I tell you something?" And I looked at him like, "What? The hell you could tell me?" Because I'm looking at this old man like, this old wino. How the hell he gonna tell me something? So I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" And he said, "Yo, young blood, why don't you stop that now because you want to, and not later because you have to?" So I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, dude." But I'm smoking that weed, and it must have been good, because I never forget getting on the bus and letting that overplay in my mind over and over and over. Why don't you stop now because you want to, and not later because you have to? Over and over and over. And I realized something that day. I said, man, that wino probably started out like me one day. Young kid, smoking some weed, drinking a little beer, getting high, living life, having kids, having fun, drinking more, smoking more, drinking and the smoking getting away. Maybe a new drug gets involved. Now he don't go to work. Now he ain't paying bills. Now him and his wife split up. She put him out. He robbing, he stealing. He ain't got nowhere to go. Now he homeless. Now he ain't got no change of clothes. He pissing on himself, shitting where he can. Drinking all day, and the only thing he can find comfort in is some alcohol. And one day he's gonna have to stop. But that day might be too late. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Stop now because you want to, and not later because you have to. Remember, folks, if you heard anything that resonates with you, any truths that you can make applicable, if you heard anything that you think somebody else needs to hear, please like, share, and subscribe to the video. Please hit the thumbs up button. It's free, folks. It doesn't cost you a dime to hit that button. It doesn't cost anything. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified next time I'm uploading some more of this content. I'm dropping jewels all the time, guys, and I have a message that I believe everyone needs to hear. You do too, or else you wouldn't be listening right now. So remember, live life out loud with purpose.